Did you know that 1 out of every 5 businesses fail within their first year, and of the ones that survive, only 6% ever make over 6 figures a year? I've spent the past few years of my life studying elite entrepreneurs, billionaires, and world leaders whilst growing my own business to multiple 6 figures. And I figured out that the reason most businesses fail, or at least fail to do well, comes down to just one thing. So in this video, I'm going to explain what that reason is, why it leads to failure, and how you can fix it so that you don't fail and can actually grow your business to multiple 6 or 7 figures and build your dream life. So let's start by going over why most businesses fail, and it's actually nothing to do with the business. So if you're trying all these different marketing strategies, sales funnels, or copywriting techniques to grow your business, this is going to completely change the game for you and actually help you become bloody unstoppable. So to put it bluntly, most businesses fail because the entrepreneur is in a mental survival state. Essentially, they're surviving and not thriving. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs before. It's essentially this triangle or pyramid with the most foundational needs of humans on the bottom. So we have physiological needs, then safety and security, then love and belonging, then self-esteem, then self-actualization. But what this hierarchy of needs actually fundamentally means is that you cannot focus on the layer above until you have the layer below solved and dialed in. For example, if you were a caveman 25,000 years ago when we were still hunting woolly mammoths and actually quite literally fighting for survival every single day, there was no chance you were going to be focusing on building a business. Obviously, you know, the concept and idea of business hadn't been invented or formed, but you get my point. We were too busy focusing on survival to focus on anything else. And you can actually see in human history as we got the survival part nailed, because as soon as we did, we started building cities, creating empires, forming democracy, and now we've made AI, which might take over the world, I'm not sure. But we did all of this because we had this bottom layer dialed in, and so we could free up mental bandwidth to focus on other things outside of ourselves. So, you know, your brain only has a certain amount of bandwidth. If you are trying to survive, which is our most fundamental need, and if you're not dialing that in, you're going to be spending, you know, 90%, 95%, maybe even 100% of your bandwidth on surviving. Now, what happens is that so many entrepreneurs try to build a business when they're still focused on survival. Like, how can you expect to send 100 high quality cold emails, close on a sales call, or build an amazing product if your brain thinks you're in survival mode because your diet doesn't give you the nutrients you need, you sleep like shit, and you're addicted to cheap dopamine? You can't, because all your brain can subconsciously think about is those physiological needs. Look, we still have the same brain as our ancestors from 10,000 years ago, okay? And by survival, I don't mean you're literally out there fighting tooth and nail to stay alive. I mean, you haven't solved and dialed in this bottom foundational row of physiological needs, and you'll see this in your life quite a bit, okay? For example, if you're in survival, even when you're working, your brain doesn't care about the work. All it cares about is solving these needs. All it cares about is surviving. So you end up sitting down at your desk, but you're not fully focused. You're easily distractible. You can't seem to prioritize the important work that actually moves the needle in your business and earns you money. You can't seem to structure your day and stick to your schedule. Nothing seems to work for you, and your business isn't growing how you think it should. And it's all because your brain isn't freeing up the both conscious and subconscious bandwidth to focus on these things. We are still tribal creatures, okay? We are still concentrated on survival and status as our #1 priority. The only difference is that we don't have to truly think about survival in the sense of staying alive. So we can focus on the likes of building a business, building a career, or at least we trick ourselves into thinking we can, when the vast majority of people aren't actually out of this survival mode because they don't have this solved. Now, a lot of people think that they have this physiological need sorted simply because they have food and they have water, but I would question if you do have it sorted. You know, safety, sure, as long as you're born in a first world country, your safety is pretty much going to be guaranteed, at least enough for it to not hold you back from building your business. But think about the modern lifestyle, okay? The modern lifestyle gives you low quality food where most people eat junk food or takeaway for at least 1 meal a day. Foods are pumped with pesticides and chemicals and are completely lacking in nutrients and vitamins and minerals. You're essentially just injecting a chemical flavoring into your mouth when you eat a lot of foods in the modern world. You're also likely getting shit sleep because, quite simply, most people don't get anywhere enough sleep, or at least enough high quality sleep. And the water you're drinking is likely terrible. Again, pumped full of fluoride and chemicals or microplastics. You see, you might have all of these things needed to fulfill your physiological needs, but because the quality of them is so low, it doesn't actually fulfill your physiological needs, and your brain subconsciously thinks you're still in survival. It might look as if we have our physiological needs solved, but most people don't, okay? Or at least they don't have them solved to the degree necessary to allow you to shift out of survival and into a thriving state so that you can fully 100% focus on building your business. Look, understand that the bigger your goal, the more you need to have this foundational physiological need dialed in so that you can free up your subconscious bandwidth to focus on that goal, but also so that you can maximize your mental performance and increase the chances of you doing high quality work and growing your business. Look, building a business without optimizing and prioritizing your own personal performance is literally like building a house in sand. It does not work, especially in the long run. Eventually that tide is going to come in and it's going to sweep away everything you've built. So if your goal is to earn $1,000 a month, look, you really don't need this foundation dialed in that much to earn $1,000 a month. But if your goal is to earn $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month or more, then you need it dialed the fuck in. There's no exceptions here. For example, if you want to build your business to $100,000 a month, you need to do amazing work in every single area, in terms of getting clients results, in terms of driving traffic to your business, and in terms of closing clients. And high quality work in every area requires a ton of mental energy. If you have a terrible diet filled with McDonald's, Oreos and pizza, or maybe it's not that bad, but it's not completely optimized, or if you only get 5 hours sleep, you're not going to have the drive, the willpower, the focus, or the energy necessary to build your business, and you're not going to build your business and achieve your goal. Look, you as an entrepreneur, you are the driving force of your business. Quite simply, okay? Nobody else, nothing else is going to make your business grow but you. And quite simply, if something is holding you back, then you're holding your business back. If you are being held back, your business is being held back. And if you want to build your house on firm, solid ground, then you need to optimize and prioritize your own performance, because the second you start getting brain fog or low energy, the second you start procrastinating or struggling to focus, the second you can't figure out what tasks drive your business forward and earn you money, is the exact second the tide comes in and destroys everything you've built. And every single one of these issues that will hold your business and productivity back is caused by or exaggerated by having low energy, because pretty much every entrepreneur knows what they need to do, and if they don't, it's incredibly easy to figure it out. The thing that holds them back from growing their business is their ability to do the thing that they know they need to do to a high quality for a long enough period of time. Now, with that, how on earth do you build your house on firm ground and grow your business? Well, the secret is to get out of survival and start thriving, which to do that, you have to optimize 3 areas. And the reason you want to optimize these areas is so that you can optimize your performance, so that you have the clearest thinking, the most energy, and maximum willpower and focus. This way you can go all in on your business and the work you have to do each day and make the right decisions and take the right actions to grow it. Essentially, by dialing in these areas, you fix that physiological need and you clear up the mental bandwidth that you have being used by the survival instincts of your brain to go all in on your goals. And with these areas, there are obviously, literally tens of thousands of small tactics you could do, you could experiment with, you could try, but you really don't need to worry about them, especially if you haven't got the foundations nailed. So today we're going to cover the foundational principles that do 99% of the lifting for these areas. Imagine you had a fuel tank. Obviously, the size of the fuel tank dictates the amount of fuel you can put in it, because obviously you can't put a ton of fuel in a small fuel tank, right? So to grow your business as easily as possible, you would obviously like a massive fuel tank that can hold a huge amount of fuel, right? Optimizing your sleep is maximizing the size of your fuel tank. It's maximizing the amount of potential energy you could have. So now my next video is going to dive deep into optimizing sleep and the science behind it. So I will just cover this quickly. To optimize your sleep, do these things, okay? Get at least 7.5 hours of sleep. Be in bed at least 8 hours before you want to wake up. No caffeine 10 hours before bed. Get morning sunlight. No food 3 hours before bed. No screens 1 hour before bed. And have a cool room temperature of around 17 degrees Celsius. If you just do those things, I can guarantee you that you'll sleep well and maximize the size of your fuel tank. Now, if sleep is the size of your fuel tank, you would want to actually put a lot of fuel in the tank, and you would want to fill it up, and you would want that fuel to be high quality, right? Well, your nutrition is the amount and quality of your fuel. The higher the quality of your nutrition, the more you maximize the amount and quality of fuel, allowing you to put as much effort into your business as possible and get the best results you can. With nutrition, you want to do a number of things. Eat at least 90% of your calories from single ingredient whole foods. So for example, an apple is one ingredient, chicken is one ingredient, steak is one ingredient, but a fucking Jaffa cake or an Oreo is 20 ingredients, okay? Quite simply, you want to eat at least 90% of your calories from clean whole single ingredient foods. And the reason for this is none other than they're healthier for you, okay? They're healthier foods. If it was made in a lab, you can guarantee that it's not good for you, okay? Plus, more ingredients means it's harder for the body to break down and digest, and if it's made in a lab, that company has likely put in a ton of addictive chemicals into it to keep you coming back for more, so you keep buying it, and those chemicals, even if it's just sugar, aren't good for you, okay? Look, I'm not necessarily anti-sugar, but I'm definitely not pro-sugar either. It's obviously fine in moderation, but in my experience, people react and respond to the likes of sugar so differently that with most people getting massive energy spikes and crashes, and it's obviously addicting. So where moderation is really hard to tell, and since we are hardwired to want sugar biologically, it's hard to stay in moderation with it. Hence, I think it's best for pretty much everyone to consume at least 90% of their calories from single ingredient whole foods. And then you can, if you really want to, have 10% from whatever you want. Or you can go all out and just eat only single ingredient whole foods, which from a health perspective is obviously the best choice. Second thing is to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So protein is quite literally what your body uses to repair itself. Without protein, you will not recover, and you will be fatigued and you will feel tired even if you get great sleep. This is actually one of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make when we work with them at selfmastery.co. They're super low energy, but typically they actually sleep pretty well. Their sleep quality is good, and they have enough duration of sleep. You know, they're sleeping 7.5, 8 hours or maybe 9 hours a night, but they still feel tired and still feel low energy. And the reason for this is pretty much always because they're not eating enough protein. Hence, they're not recovering, because your body literally needs protein to recover. The best thing about aiming for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is that it will also force you to eat good foods, because you will not quite simply get enough protein if you're eating crap foods. Now, in all honesty, do you need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight? No. But if you look at the studies, you need at least 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That is non-negotiable if you want to maximize recovery and energy. However, from an anecdotal perspective, from me personally and from my clients, everyone pretty much always feels better the more protein they eat, because there's more room for recovery and more room for growth. So I highly recommend just aiming for the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. The third thing is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is simply where you don't eat during a certain period of the day. So for example, you stop eating at 8 p.m. at night and you don't eat till 12 p.m. the next day. Basically, you don't eat breakfast, to put it in the most simple way. You can play about with the time windows, when you stop eating, when you start eating, but you know, basically the most simple thing for most people to do is to not eat after your dinner at night and don't eat your breakfast. The reason you should do this is because food redirects blood to your gut. It also influences insulin and energy levels quite badly if it is bad food, which can cause massive crashes. Really, it just takes energy away from the brain, impacting your work quality and focus. So by skipping breakfast, trust me, your focus will be through the fucking roof. You'll have zero brain fog and you'll be dialed in on the work you're doing that morning. The idea here really is that you wake up, you do 4 hours of deep work on your most important tasks in a fasted, hyper-focused state. Come 12 p.m, you can then eat, and then you can stop eating at 8 p.m, say. Look, there are other benefits to fasting as well. You know, does it raise your metabolism? Yes, by much, likely not a noticeable amount, but there are other benefits, but they're not actually the reason I recommend people fast. I recommend people do intermittent fasting so that you're not subjecting your energy to the mercy of food when you're meant to be doing your most important tasks. The last thing you want, right, is to eat a bloody bagel or eat whatever your breakfast is, right? And you sit down to do your most important task that drives most of the progress in your business, and next thing you know, you're full of brain fog. You have low energy, you're struggling to focus, all because you ate a bagel, okay? It is much better just to skip breakfast, There are other benefits to fasting as well, which cannot be ignored, but they're not the main reason I tell people to do this. Essentially, you want as few factors as possible impacting your focus and energy. Now, if you have your fuel tank and it's full of high quality fuel, imagine a pipe that brings the fuel from the tank to your brain. If that pipe is clogged up, that energy is going to struggle to get to the engine, your brain, and it doesn't really matter how much fuel you have, it's not going to be used. So to put it simply, movement and exercise clears the pipe. It allows the fuel to flow freely so that you can maximize it. With movement, there's only really two things you need to do, okay, to keep it really simple. Move and sweat daily, even if it's just a fast walk, and then train hard in the gym 3 to 5 times a week. Look, this shouldn't need to be said, but there is not a single situation governed by the laws of physics and the laws of nature possible where you are not in a better state if you move daily and train hard. Not a single situation, none. You get better energy, you look better, you feel more confident, you have more discipline, you command more respect and status. And look, I'm not saying you need to be built like fucking Ronnie Coleman, but I'm just saying you need to challenge your body because the mind and body are linked, okay? As an entrepreneur, your business is essentially a reflection of your actions and decisions. If you want to make better actions and better decisions, you need your mind to be in the best state possible, and your mind cannot be in the best state possible if your body is not in a good state, because the mind and body are linked. If your body is not in a good shape, your mind is not in a good shape either, quite simply, okay? And if you want to build an amazing business and live your dream life, you need your mind to be in good shape, which requires your body to be in good shape. Seriously, if you're sitting there wildly overweight, never exercising, eating crap, sleeping crap, and feeling like you're low energy, or if you're just not as focused as you would like, with your energy not as high as you would like, and just a bit too much brain fog, how can you expect to grow your business to where you want it? If you think about it, the body you have and the sort of physical condition that you're in is a reflection of the actions and decisions you make in terms of the food you eat and the amount of exercise you do. There's no other way around that. The laws of thermodynamics are simple. You consume more calories, you consume less calories, you'll either gain weight or lose weight, right? Your business is also a reflection of your actions and decisions. If your body is not in good shape, that means you're taking the wrong actions and wrong decisions in that area of your life. You're also going to be taking the wrong actions and wrong decisions in your business as well, and you will be holding your business back. Every area of your life is a reflection of your mind. If your body's not in good shape, that means your mind's not in good shape. If your mind's not in good shape, that means your business is not going to be in good shape. Your business is a reflection of you, of your actions, your thoughts, processes, and your decisions. So take a damn look around you. If your nutrition, habits, sleep pattern, training, mindset, and most importantly your identity are all shit, then it's only logical that your business will be shit. To fix your business, you must first fix yourself, because for your business to grow to the next level, whatever that is for you, you must grow and you must become the person capable of taking it to that level, because how will it ever grow if you're not capable of making it grow? And by optimizing these 3 areas, by focusing on these foundational principles, you are building your house on solid ground. You're going to completely solve your physiological needs, get out of survival, and optimize your performance so that you can not only thrive, but so that you can also have the necessary mental clarity and energy to chase a big fucking goal and build your business. Remember, building a business without optimizing and prioritizing your own personal performance is literally like building a house on sand. It does not work, especially in the long run. Eventually that tide is going to come in and sweep away everything you've ever built. And look, if you want to know the one idea that every single elite entrepreneur you can think of is used to help them blow up their business effortlessly, check out this video right here.